Hey, it's so good to be today. My name is John Pritikin, and to be part of the World Kindness Conference, I am gonna roll up this frying pan. I did this to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And so right where you're at, gotta give me a countdown from 5, and when you say 0, I will roll this up like a burrito. My picture's in the 2009 Guinness Book of World Records, page 12. I'll tell everybody that because I'm insecure. That's why my hair's like this. Okay, so here we go. Give me a countdown. Say it loud. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on. All right, now I have a steel bar, and you might have seen this done at the World Strongman competition. They bend a bar behind their neck. It's a real steel bar. I'm gonna bend it in my teeth, okay? Give me another countdown from 5, okay? So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Last but not least, I have a baseball bat. I'm gonna break this in just a moment. But before I do that, I am so honored to be filming this video for you at my friend's house here at a winery here in Northern California. I travel all over the world, and you hear the dogs barking in the background, but I travel all over the world, and my wife and daughter travel with me. And ever since my daughter is 2 years old, she and I, every week, no matter where we're at in the world, we go on a date. We go out to a movie or a dinner. Her favorite food, might be gross to you, ready? Her favorite food? Sushi. That's her favorite food. So a couple years ago, we went to a movie, and we were watching this movie. And there was a guy who was like a superhero. I started thinking about heroes. Heroes help out people who are going through a tough time, but they also help out people who may not be as strong as they are. Hey, I want to say this to you. You're gonna go through a tough time. You'll be sad. You'll want to give up. And you'll need a hero to step into your life and be that to you, a hero, help you up. But this is my message to you today, is this, at the Kindness Conference, is that someone at school, at home, where you live, online, will go through a tough time. And you know what? You will have to be a hero to them. Hey, there's a story of a little boy who didn't have a hero. And everybody was mean to that boy because of one reason. That boy, he couldn't talk. He was in first grade. He's 6 years old. He's sitting in his desk, and a teacher walks in. She picks him up, she carries him down a hall, and she puts him in a room with other students who had special needs. Everybody at school was so mean to that boy. He was always by himself. He never got to play in a game. In fact, when this boy would eat his lunch at school, the other students, they would throw garbage at him. He would come home after school. His parents were always fighting, and they went through a really bad divorce. One day, in third grade, he was sitting outside of school, like he did every morning. And he watched these older boys play a game. They run back and forth. It was like tag. He never got to play in the game. He only got to watch. But this one day, 25 boys walked over to the third grade boy sitting against the wall, and they asked him to play. He didn't stand at his feet. You know what he did? He jumped to his feet. He's never got to play any game before. So he's playing this game, he's running back and forth, having so much fun. And then all of a sudden, this good day became a bad day. Those boys didn't want to play in a game with them. They wanted to hurt him. And they chased the boy all over the school. Well, he runs down the hall. He's looking for help, but he doesn't see how a fifth grade boy who's trying to be funny broke ahead of the pack, and he stuck his leg out in the hall. I don't think that boy would have done this if he knew it was going to happen, but he was trying to impress his friends by hurting somebody else. So the third grade boy, he is running. He doesn't see the older boy's leg. He hits the leg, he trips, he falls, his face hits the ground, and blood goes everywhere. And all 25 boys. I don't know about you, I would think someone would show some type of compassion, or there's a word called empathy, show him some type of kindness, pick him up, get a teacher or a towel. No, no one's a hero to him. But all those boys start pointing and laughing at the boy who's on the ground bleeding. Well, the bell rang and everybody went to school except for the boy. He stood up, he's crying, his shirt soaked in blood. He has to go to the hospital to get stitches in his face. Well, the next year, he's able to come back to a typical classroom. Only one problem: the teacher he got, she didn't care for him. So one day at the end of school, she dismissed all the students except for that boy. She walks over to his desk, she points at the boy, and she says these words. She said, "You will never be able to read, write, or talk. You'll never graduate from high school or college. You're a throwaway." And that hurt him. Can I stop real quick and say this to you? I really appreciate the way you're listening to me right now. But there could be someone watching right now who's heard words a lot worse than that boy's heard. I was speaking at a school and a boy came up on the stage. He stopped me as I was speaking. He said, "John," he goes, "this morning at breakfast," he goes, "my parents sat me down and said, we're getting a divorce." He goes, "They pointed at me and said, it's your fault," but it's not his fault. As soon as he said that, he fell and I caught him. He starts crying and yelling out loud in front of the whole school. He goes, "John, I don't know what I did." Sometimes the people who are supposed to love us and take care of us can be the ones who hurt us the most. If that is anyone right now, I'm saying this to you right now from the bottom of my heart, and that is, I'm sorry. Don't ever believe a lie when someone tells you you're not special. You're not an accident and you're not a mistake. And whatever happens with parents, it's never your fault. With that boy, he went to a new school, 12 years old, 7th grade. He got out of the car, his mom grabbed his hand, she says, "Sweetie, it's a new school, they'll be nice to you." She starts to cry, she goes, "I promise." He doesn't talk to one all morning. He goes out to lunch, he sits down, and this older girl stood up, an 8th grader. She doesn't know him, but she yells out loud. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing? We don't want you to eat lunch with us." And then she uses a word no one should ever use and no one should ever be called. She goes, "You're retarded, go by yourself." And the whole school started laughing. But the boy, he didn't cry, he didn't laugh. He picked up his lunch, he walked through the crowd that's laughing at him, he sat underneath the tree, and when he's all alone, then he cried. So many times we try to make fun of someone, make someone else laugh. But just because someone hasn't cried in front of you doesn't mean the things you have said, the actions you have done, or something you have written hasn't hurt that person. I don't care if it's at home, online, or at school. Those things hurt. Well, he became a young man. In high school, he wanted to go to college, but he had bad grades. But one university took him in on probation, academic. He really got to go to school. So he goes to this university. He goes to these big classes. He comes back to his room. He sits on his bed and he just cries because he feels so dumb on the inside. But one last time, he reached down and he found the strength not to give up. His second year at that university, he hit the dean's list and he went to the top of his class. He went to his third and his fourth year. He walked across the stage. He graduated. The little boy that couldn't talk, who became a young man, he went on with his life. And today, that man is me. And that's my story. My whole life, people have been really mean to me. I had surgery in my throat. I've gone through therapy to help me talk the way I talk today. I still stutter. I still have problems with reading and writing, but I can't give up. And everybody thinks because I do this kind of stuff, everybody thinks I grew up playing sports. It's not true. I'm just somebody that nobody wanted at their birthday party. And I want you to know today how special you are. And people ask me all the time, "John, if you could do something different in life, what would you do?" I wouldn't change what happened to me, but there's one thing I would do differently. And that is, I wish I could have talked to someone when I was going through those tough times. What I share with you today, I held on the inside. And I just want to say, if you're going through a tough time today, talk to someone. There's a lot of people who want to help you. Don't ever, ever give up. My daughter, when she was 5 years old, I took her back to the school I grew up at. I wanted her to see what happened in my life. And I showed her the classroom where the teacher told me the mean things. And I even showed her where the boys tripped me and I was bleeding and the scar on my chin. I took her to the tree outside the school. I said, this is where Daddy ate lunch by himself every day. So walking back to the car, she stopped me and she said, Daddy? I said, yeah, Jaden. She goes, I'm sorry that happened to you. I said, it's okay. And I picked her up. She gave me a hug. She goes, Daddy? I said, yeah, baby girl. She whispered in my ear. She goes, I would have eaten lunch with you. That touched my heart. Sometimes all we need is someone just to be nice to us. Can I ask a favor? Let's be heroes this year. Let's make sure no one eats alone, and let's be kind to each other. And on behalf of the SAC Foundation, I just want you to know how special you truly are. You're strong, you're powerful, and you're mighty. Remember, let's be heroes. I'm gonna break this bat, and when this bat breaks, let something break your life. Say, you know what, John? I'm gonna be a hero this year. Give me a countdown from 5. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on, hey, let's be a hero, and remember, let's be kind.